Hey guys, welcome to day 14 of the New Testament in 90 days. Today we get to finish off the book of Mark. So the reading is Mark chapters 13 through 16. Yesterday we talked about how the majority of the Pharisees, the teachers, religious teachers at the time were opposed to Jesus, but not all of them, right? Some of them really were in line with what Jesus was teaching. They thought he was a good teacher, and that's really a great reminder for us to, not put every single person into a specific box. However, at this point, the religious teachers that are opposed to Jesus are on the verge of arresting him, and Jesus knows that. And so he's prepping his disciples for that to happen. So it says in Mark 14, starting in verse 30, where are we? Oh, I'm sorry, starting in verse 27. Jesus tells his disciples, "All of you will desert me, for the scriptures say God will strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter. But after I'm raised from the dead, I'll go ahead of you to Galilee and meet you there." And Peter, the awesome Peter, who always says exactly what's on his mind, Peter says to Jesus, "Even if everyone else deserts you, I never will." Paraphrase, these losers might desert you, but not this guy, okay? And Jesus replies to Peter, "I tell you the truth, Peter, this very night, before the rooster crows twice, you will deny 3 times that you even know me." And Peter's not excited to hear that. He tells Jesus that's not going to happen. I don't know, who you think you are, but I'm not going to desert you like that. I won't deny you like that. Well, fast forward. Jesus is arrested. His disciples do scatter, just like he had predicted. And Peter ends up following behind Jesus as they're taking him off. And it says that while Jesus is essentially being interrogated, that Peter is outside in the courtyard below. And so starting in Mark 14, verse 66, it says that one of the servant girls who worked for the high priest came by and noticed Peter warming himself at the fire. She looked at him closely and said, "You were one of those with Jesus of Nazareth." But Peter denied it. "I don't know what you're talking about," he said, and he went out into the entryway. Just then, a rooster crowed, the first time. When the servant girl saw him standing there, she began telling the others, "This man is definitely one of them." But Peter denied it again. A little later, some of the other bystanders confronted Peter and said, "You must be one of them, because you're a Galilean." And Peter swore, "A curse on me if I'm lying. I don't know this man you're talking about." And immediately the rooster crowed the second time. Suddenly Jesus' words flashed through Peter's mind, and he broke down and wept. And so the reason why this stuck out to me is because I checked the other 3 Gospels. So remember, the first 4 books of the New Testament are Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. All 4 of those books tell the account in varying detail of Jesus' birth, life, ministry, death, and resurrection. And Mark's gospel is the only one that shares that little detail where Jesus says before the rooster crows twice. All the other gospels just say before the rooster crows. Okay, so this is why it stuck out to me, is because if Peter would have been alert, maybe he was, but that first rooster crow should have been a warning to him, a reminder to him of the path that he was on, and he would have been able to course correct. He would have been able to stop what he was doing and not deny him a second and third time. But he didn't. He either didn't hear the first rooster crow because he was more concerned about self-preservation than he was concerned about the words that Jesus had just spoken to him. Obviously, Jesus had been arrested, and he was probably concerned that he was going to be arrested as well. So he's, nervous about that. He's concerned about that. He's in, fight or flight mode probably. The other possibility is that he did hear the first rooster crow and he just barreled on ahead, thinking, okay, I've only denied him once. I won't do it 2 or 3 times, right? And I don't know about you, but how often do we do that? We think that we can just keep doing the same things and get a different result. Peter didn't change anything. He kept himself in the same situation where the denial was happening, and, ended up denying him 2 more times. And so I just really love that Mark included that detail, because it is a reminder to me to be alert, to be aware of what God is doing in my life and the way that he is directing my life and keeping some safe guardrails around me so that I can stay on the path that he has chosen for me. Somewhere else in the Bible, it just came to me, so I can't remember exactly where this is at. But it says that when we are tempted, God will give us a way out. And so this rooster crow, the crowing the first time, should have been Peter's way out, a reminder to him to change what he was doing in his life, and he just didn't do it. And this is where he ended up. Now, spoiler alert, Jesus at some point addresses this again with Peter, which is awesome, which we'll talk about that in a later video. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. I thought that was a really good thing that for whatever reason, I've read these Gospels however many numbers of time, but that stuck out to me. And I wanted to share that with you today. So that is it for today. Tomorrow we start looking at the book of Luke, which is very exciting. Again, it's going to be about the life of Jesus, but in a little bit of a different way. So I hope you'll join me for that. If you have any questions or comments about what I covered today, I would love to have a conversation with you. So either leave a comment or shoot me a private message. And if I don't hear from you today, I will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.